Hello and welcome to this, the 34th edition of the Longines FEI Eventing Championships in Luhmu hlen, Germany. The iconic venue of Luhmu hlen has been holding three-day events for the past 60 years and is the heartland of German eventing. This formidable combination of dressage, cross-country and jumping is often known as the triathlon of the equestrian world and is truly a complete sport that tests both the horse and rider in all aspects of horsemanship. It was a stellar field that lined up in Luhmu hlen, 73 riders from 17 nations, with some of the biggest names of the sport, including Jung, Piggy French, Nicolas Touzon, Oliver Townend, and the reigning champion Ingrid Klimke, who was back to defend her title on home ground.
I'm really excited because I would love to be on Monday still European champion, so that's why we are here. Bobby is in top form, so am I, so it will be really a fun competition for sure. I don't feel much pressure. I really enjoy the competition, and the better, the closer, the more concurrence it is, I think the more exciting it will be for the riders, for the spectators. So I hope it will be really tough and fun and lots of adrenaline. The course looks wonderful, so I'm very sure all of them will go for it. We have strong European riders and horses here who all have the chance, or if they go for it, who all can do it. But the more competition, I think the more ambitious everybody will be, so it will be fun.
For the teams competing at the championships, there was the added pressure of two spots up for grabs for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games for those not already qualified. Something that Germany, France, Ireland, Poland and the defending FEI European team champions Great Britain did not have to worry about. Having won the World Championships last year, this powerhouse of eventing is led by chef d'équipe Richard Waygood, but winning at the home of German eventing wouldn't be easy.
I mean, it's a wonderful thing, obviously, to have success, but that's history. And, you know, the next 4 or 5 days is completely different, and we start with a clean sheet. So we've just got to keep moving forwards and keep concentrating forwards and keep working hard. And when we work hard, work a bit harder. We've got, again, sort of experience, we've got ultra experience, we've got some riders slightly less experienced, we've got a wide range group. So we've got something there all the way through, really. So again, it's investing in our future and allowing those to show their full potential at the championships. It's a real challenge. I mean, you come into Germany, Germans are very, very strong and extremely strong on their own turf, so to speak. So no, we're coming here expecting a fight from beginning to end.
The championship was staged over 4 days, and after a downpour of heavy rain early morning, freshening up the late summer heatwave, the sun came out for day one as the dressage got underway at the Longines FEI Eventing European Championships. The first to go for the Belgium team was Laura Loge, and the 24-year-old with the 11-year-old mare Absolute Vallegro delivered an early leading test. Great Britain didn't get off to the best of starts. Pippa Funnell and Mahas, she would be disappointed with the 35.2, leaving the reigning champions with work to do. Karen Donkers and Fletcher van Verhoef equalled compatriot Loge's score, so it was a 1-2 for Belgium, and they were leading the team championship as well in these early stages. What could Germany do? Kai Ruder and Kalani Sunrise put in what some thought would be the best test, 25.8. The new leader throwing down the gauntlet in the individual championship. The competition was moving up a gear. Unbelievably, a superb test from Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Valette and King de Brio saw him join Ruder at the top of the table. But their joint lead was short-lived after a fantastic championship debut test for British individual Laura Collette and London 52. They took the lead on 25.5, an impressive start to their championship. Collette was knocked into second as Germany's Jung and fischerChipmunk FRH posted the leading individual score, and took his team to the top of the leaderboard early in day 2. Their sublime test scored an adjusted 20.9 and thrilled the German crowd and set Jung up in pole position for the cross-country phase. Britain's Tina Cook and Billy the Red scored an impressive 28.3 to climb up to 5th place and pushing her team up into 3rd position. A real battle was developing between them and the Belgians. A battle that will be decided with the last line riders. Belgium's Lara de Liederkerk and Alpaga de Arville scored a solid 33.3 to put the pressure on Great Britain. But all eyes were on Germany's final rider, the reigning European champion Ingrid Klimke, as she solidified the team's pole position and went into 2nd place with SAP Hale Bob, scoring 22.2. And it was Britain's Oliver Townend and Cooley Masterclass that pushed Belgium into 3rd and secured 2nd place for his team with a score of 27.6. Great Britain back in the title hunt. France were close behind in 4th, with Ireland in 5th and Italy in 6th. It was a 1-2 for Germany in the individual. Laura Collette in 3rd with Kai Ruder and Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Valette in equal 4th position after dressage.
I'm very happy. fischerChipmunk is a fantastic horse. He was so nice to ride today. He was very concentrated, really fresh and powerful in the movements, and it's really nice to enjoy. We have to concentrate. Tomorrow is a tough day, and yeah, we have to still be concentrated and focused on our way.
But the sport of eventing is not just a dressage test. And with the big day looming, the athletes had spent valuable time walking Mike Etherington-Smith's cross-country track.
I've been lucky enough to do some Europeans before, but I mean this is a special place, Luhmu hlen, as we know. It's got a lot of history here, and 17 nations represented, which is fantastic. For a team competition, it's a little different to, well, very different to an individual competition in that I give more alternatives, so there needs to be a way around for everybody, and provided they make the right decisions. And it's difficult. The quick routes are difficult. We've got many of the world's best here, and we've got some who are stepping up to that level. So we've got to cater for everybody. And I want the horses to grow. I want them to have a good experience. I want the athletes to learn, make decisions as they're going around. And I think the quick routes are tough. There's plenty of room for run-outs, and I like to think if the riders make a mistake, the horses aren't punished, so they'll have a glance off rather than get into any trouble. So, yeah, it's tough, the quick route.
We're here at fence number 5, the Longines water. It's the first really tough question. We have a very serious jump into the water, and then we have a bending line to 5A and B, which is the main question, where it's all about getting the jump in where you want. So you jump it straight, and then you have a bending line to a boat, and then 3 straights up to a hedge on an angle. And if you don't get a good jump in over the first one, that's when you get into trouble, because then it will be difficult to reach the boat, and also on the last 3 strides. I have a very good horse. He has some very good form last year, and it's been very good this year, and I really hope he's on as good form as I think he is, but he's got a good preparation, and we're definitely going to give it everything, and he should be very competitive.
Day 3, and as the sun broke over the woodland, the spectators swarmed into the park in Luhmu hlen, ready for a day of cross-country action over Olympic course designer Mike Etherington-Smith's track. We join our commentator, Spencer Sturmey.
Well, it is going to be a true test out there. Mike Etherington-Smith has set a fabulous course, the distance 5,800 metres, with an optimum time of 10 minutes and 10 seconds, 26 numbered fences, 40 jumping efforts. Well, I'm joined in commentary this morning. We have 2 guest commentators today, former Land Rover scholar Sarah Keller. Sarah, welcome to the Europeans.
Good morning, Spencer. Very pleased to be here, excited to be here. Great competition, I'm sure, going to unfold in front of us.
Well, Meryl Blom will be our trailblazer. We'll see her round the majority of the course. She's pretty much got the course to herself as our first out on course, and always a worrying moment going first. Meryl with the 12-year-old Holsteiner gelding by Chico's Boy. She rides Chicolina, and this owned by MC Blom and JMJ Blom. And these three fences, 1, 2 and 3, come up very quick. She's already put the foot down over the first two as she turns now to the third. Under the trees, they go from light to dark. Here she comes down the hill, and the riders will be watching this with great interest.
Big jump there, isn't it? It's like a big drop there. Puts you a little bit out of balance if you're not careful.
Big drop in, up to the upturned boat, and then up the hill to this narrow triple arrowhead brush. Well, she made that look very easy indeed.
No, she did a really good job there, and all of her distances, all of her strides came up nicely. We walked it yesterday, we weren't quite sure how it would ride. It came out between the boat and the house in the water, up to the skinny coming out, and made that on a nice distance of 3 strides.
This is a big test in the main arena. It's the table at 7. Big table sets them up, and it's fairly closely related then. Flies the table. Now it's corner. We walk this on 4 and 3. Ah, lovely.
If that could be ridden like that all day, then we're up for a really good competition. She made nothing of that, really.
Absolutely.
Made the big table coming out there. Looks as if she was a little bit off it distance-wise, but made nothing of it.
Well, still going very well, Meryl Blom, as she just passes the 3-minute marker out there on course. Laura Loge, 24 years of age, ranked 477th in the world rankings, away from the start. So she goes to the Luhmu hlen opening fence at 1, that lovely presented box at 1, before the brush oxer at 2. Meryl with the 12-year-old Holsteiner gelding by Chico's Boy. She rides Chicolina, jumped in there, just had another look as she turns now to the little bird, and he's just
not
switched
focusing.
off, just switched off from her. That's her second refusal. Well, our third combination, in fact, away from the start. This is Andreas Dabowski for Germany, team rider for Germany, FRH Corrida. 53 years of age, 34.6 dressage, Andreas Dabowski. FRH Corrida, just 10 years old, this mare. 2 mares out on course at the same time. Made her debut at the World Equestrian Games.
A very big jump into the second water.
Oh, and that is a 20 penalty. So there is a longer route, but my goodness me, it's a very, very long route. Mike Etherington Smith, he's designed this course as if they're going straight, it's quick. If they're going long, it's very, very long.
It is almost go back to Hamburg.
It is almost go back to Hamburg. Andreas Dabowski and FRH Corrida coming down to the Longines water. This very big house on the top of the hill. He'll know exactly what he's doing. Competed at 6 European Championships. Corrida made her debut at the World Equestrian Games. That was a confident jump in. 4 strides, then 3 strides to the narrow brush shoulder. As good as any. Well, it looks like sadly a fall for Laura Loge, an absolute allegro at the third water. Good to see they're both up on their feet. The crowd clapping in Andreas Dabowski and FRH Corrida to the table. Turns first for the corners, left-handed corner, 4 strides, and 3 strides to another left-handed corner. As away from the start is Kieran Glynn for Ireland, first team rider for Ireland with the 13-year-old mare, the Irish sport horse November Night. They bring forward a dressage score of 35.5. and Ireland, already qualified for those Tokyo Olympic Games. The 13-year-old by Bonnie Prince. Kieran made the trip to the 2009 Europeans, still relatively fresh-faced on the squad. Andreas Dabalski coming to the Mesmer water. A little bit chancy at that second arrowhead brush. He just didn't find his distance as quick as he thought he was going to. When he got to the first of those arrowhead brushes in the water, he met that on a good distance, but watch that again, and you can just see him changing his mind. After this one, he just changes his mind a couple of times, goes to go, goes to hold, sits, oh, it's not there, and jumps slightly across on the angle. Is he going to make the time? 2, 1, no he's not. But what a valiant effort. It is 4 seconds over. Great round there from Andreas Dabalski. Karin Florent Lagoag and punch to Lethquith at the third water. Bounding in over the angle brushes and out over the triple arrowheads. Kieran Glynn jumps the last, checks his clock. Well, he punches the air and says, good girl, November night. No jumping, no time penalties, 35.5. That is the first we've seen inside the time. Pippa Funnell is away. Pippa with Mayor's Hope, owned by Pippa herself and Marek Sebastak. They had a dressage of 35.4.
Trot stride in there then.
Yeah, Mayor's Hope, he's so clever with his feet. Karin Florent Lagoag and punch to Lethquith. Well inside the time. Punches the air, Karim. And a great round for the first rider for Team France. Karin Florent Lagoag, no jumping, no time penalties. They complete on their dressage score of 38.4. Pippa Funnell coming to the silver birch rails, this big drop down. And again going that left-handed route. Jumping well the left-handed route.
That was really nice. So they've all gone to the left,
Yeah.
whereas you and I walked to the right.
I know, what do we know? Pietro Roman and Baraduff into the main arena for these 4 jumping efforts. If they go straight, bit of a slip on the turn, left-handed corner, 4 strides to the table, 3 strides to the left-handed corner. Jump through there really nicely. This is jumping really well. Pippa Funnell, she's going to be inside the time. This is a great start for Team GB. While it wasn't the dressage that she wanted, she knew that she was going to be down the leaderboard a little bit. No jumping, no time. She finishes on her dressage score of 35.4. And that will be a great start for the British team. Pietro Roman and Baraduff coming to the rail, drop and corner. Going the right-hand side.
You see, I like the right. It's
I
really
like
nicer
the
on the right.
Anna Katarina Vogel and DSP Quintana P at the Mesmer water.
Another big jump into the water. Didn't have the best jump out on the last part, but actually was good, very good, into the water and over the first narrow fence.
Well, Pietro Roman is still going. He's jumped the penultimate fence, just the last, and he's nursed this horse home well because he's going to be inside the time.
That's pretty amazing because he obviously had gone quite quick, perhaps in the beginning, and then slightly paid the penalty. But has obviously done a good job of carrying him home. Very genuine horse. That, as you said earlier on, lovely Irish breeding.
Exhausted. Pietro Roman is exhausted. Well, we're going to have a short break from me. I'm going to leave you with Sarah Cannard and Ben King.
As we just see now, images of roses and icon of Coleman's.
So we'll be back at the fourth water.
Oh, she really...
She will be very frustrated, she's very upset. She got so far around the course to have had that, and he genuinely jumped it for her. Actually, had a go at jumping it, but as the bird rises on the right-hand side, his right knee just didn't come quite high enough.
Now we can just see, this is number 19. This is cruising Manuel Sarara Chova for Spain. He's got a dressage score of 39.1. He's just at the first of the waters. He's made light work of that. Karen Donkers on Fletcher Van Hoff.
Nach der tollen Runde von Teamreiter Andreas Dubowski schickt Deutschland seinen zweiten Teamreiter.
Karen Donkers there through the rail ditch log and galloping on. So we've got the mare coming into the main arena again here now. Oh, good mare there, because she was on the 3.5 almost. She was just too long to go on the 3 stride.
Karen Donkers, interesting to see what she does down to the last sort of combination here. Then they are, of course, numbered separately, but she's on direct. She's flying home. Lots of supporters out there we can see. Great to see so many people out here today. It's a lovely sunny day here at Luhmu hlen at the Longines Eventing European Championships. Oh, and over the last.
Flyer at the last.
I think she's going to be pleased with that, wouldn't you say, Sarah?
Yeah, I think she's looked a little bit, I wouldn't say she was in a good rhythm all the way around, hence why we ended up with the 14 time penalties, I think. She just seemed to be struggling with just staying in that even rhythm that we saw with the Polish horse earlier on.
Well, now it is Malin Josefsen and Golden Midnight at the Mesmer Water. Big bold jump in, sits tight, keeps hold of the rein, steps slightly over the triple arrowhead brush, and out over the second of those brushes. Pops out over 13. Well, now for Ireland, this is Sarah Ennis, 44 years of age, dressage at 36 with the 10-year-old Irish sport horse, Horseware Woodcourt Garrison. Over the first. As we go back up the hill now to the Fischer well barn, the rail going left, 3 strides, gets the 3 strides. Sarah Ennis, the big question at 4 and 5, jumping in over the brush.
Sarah's not very tall and she has to really use her body, and she's learnt to do that some time ago, probably over those terrifying Irish banks they jump out hunting.
Malin Josefsen and Golden Midnight. She's going to be slightly over the optimum time. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds over.
Beautiful
0.8.
bit of riding there, and a lovely, what we saw was really beautifully ridden and a lovely horse.
Second team rider for France. This is Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Valette, 45 years of age, riding the 15-year-old Self Francais Queen de Brio, and a very good dressage, lying in 4th place on 25.8, and a crucial round now for Team France, who currently sits in bronze medal position on 92.8. Well, now we catch up down at the Mesmer Water, going around the tree. Sarah Ennis and Horseware Woodcourt Garrison. This is where we did our interview this morning, Lucinda. There's a big drop in.
It certainly is a big drop, and again, Sarah using all she has of her very small body. She has a longer rein than many of the men, and just allows her body to get in behind the rudder and say, come on, let's go, and doesn't he respond?
Second team rider for Great Britain, it's Piggy French. Piggy riding Jane McGivern's Quarry Crest Echo, 39 years old, world ranked 3 in the world, the current badminton champion as well, with the Veneer Chimera, an ultra consistent machine of a horse across the country. Piggy went to the 2010 World Equestrian Games. She's been to numerous equestrian games by Clover Echo.
Sarah finishing, looking thoroughly joyful. Beautiful last jump, no tired horse there. That's a fit Irish horse.
Well, just 2.8 time penalties added to her dressage. 38.8 goes into 9th place for Ireland. Well, we go back now into the trees with Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Villette and King de Brio safely in and out of the trees. They gallop onto the next water. Piggy French in the main arena, Quarry Crest Echo.
Play of 7. Combination 8.
They're on song, those two, and that horse doesn't get much better than that. That is beautiful. Absolutely lovely riding.
Well, there Laura Collett, 30 years of age. 30 years of age thanks to today. It is her birthday today. Riding Keith Scott's and Karen Bartlett's London 52.
Straight into water. And he really didn't even see that. He just sort of took off as he saw it. And a little bit the same, just a little bit showing his greenness there. Piggy, a little bit hung up going into the water there, but nonetheless that's done nothing but help her because it slowed the whole show up. And now she's got to get it going again. Beautiful. And this fence over a stream with a moving water wheel to the side and in deep shadow.
Coming to the last, this is Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Villette.
Fabulous.
And he's going to be inside the time. That is a great round for France, 25.8 he completes on. No jumping and no time penalties. He goes to the top of the leaderboards. Laura Collett then at the water for the 3rd time.
Oh. Very, very, very not so happy.
Oh. Well, that is Laura Collett taking a ducking at the water. There's a very sad end to Laura Collett's day. One home inside the time so far. That Pippa Funnel and Mayor's Hope.
Ah, what a lovely last jump. Good girl. Plenty of time. She'll be so thrilled about that because she's had to work for that, but Quarry Crest Echo has given his best.
Well, Mikael Jung about to set off. This 11-year-old Hanoverian by Contendro, owned by Klaus Fischer, Sabine Fischer, Hilmar Kuhlenkampf. He won gold medals at 3 senior Europeans with 3 different horses. Maria Pinedo Sendergorta and Kariam van Kolen-Zed. At the final water, jump the...
Ouch.
Oof, jump the roll top, jump the little bird in the water. Maria shakes her head. That will sadly be elimination. We go back to the Mesmer Water. Mikael Jung, fischerChipmunk, FRH.
How quick he was when he landed in the water. You watch him how quickly he picks up the reins here.
I had my eye on his rein. He was right to the left-hand side, the narrowest part of that Mesmer log going in. On through the woods. You look, this fence, going left-handed. So Cathal Daniels, Rioghan coming down to this very big table, the Longines table. Interesting to this mare, she might only be 15-1, 15-2, but she makes these fences look like they're nothing.
She's magic, isn't she?
Oh, she really is. 12 years old now, by Jack of Diamonds. So Mikael Jung, fischerChipmunk back to the water for the final time. Roll top, and then this little bird. Definite, absolutely no hesitation, deviation. Well, can this man go into the mix and put Ireland in there as well? Cathal Daniels, they are one of the fastest across the country. They've proved that on many occasions.
She's amazing, isn't she?
He knows it's going to be comfortably inside the time. Our prediction is 15 seconds. He's going to be more than that. 18 seconds inside the time for Jung. The man has done it again. What a round with fischerChipmunk. He will be the overnight leader on his dressage score of 20.9. He cannot be beaten. What a round. That leaderboard, it is Jung out in front. fischerChipmunk FRH for Germany, 20.9. Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Villette and Quing de Breu in second for France, 25.8. Pietro Rioghan and Baradaf for Italy, third, 29.4. Tina Cook down at the Mesmer Water. He says, go on, Billy the Reds. Oh, no, I don't believe it.
Very cross about that.
That was very, very cheeky. Well, this could change things dramatically for the British team with 20 jumping penalties. Well, what a round. 10 seconds inside the time for Cathal Daniels and Rioghan. No jumping, no time. They do, in fact, go into third. Well, there is Ingrid Klimke, the current European champion, with the current European champion, SAP Hale Bob. Wilbury strapped to her back as well. 3 and 3.
Whoa, whole stride missing from the first table to the corner too. 7, 3 and 3, and others have done 8 or 9.
Ludwig Svennestal is underway with Elkazir SP. Elkazir SP with a dressage score of 31.9, 19th place after dressage. 15 years old, this gelding. Belgian warm blood by Capriano. Ingrid Klimke and SAP Hale Bob. We wondered if anyone would go inside. No one has.
So did I. I thought these good ones might, but they don't need to because the time is gettable. If it had been as hard as I hoped it would have been, I think some of them would have gone inside that tree.
Yeah. Nicolas Touzon is away from the start. Ranked 64th in the world rankings. Dressage at 31.6 with this 9-year-old. Absolute gold HDC. Nick is the double European champion, 2003-2007. And has helped his team to team gold once. That at the Olympic Games in Athens back in 2004. Here comes Hale Bob to the silver birch rails, going left. Ludwig Svennestal and Elkazir SP for Sweden in the main arena.
Yeah, great reactions again.
Well, it looks like the overnight 2 are going to stay the same. It is Germany 1-2. And that will mean that Germany will be overnight leaders in the team as well, as Ingrid Klimke, SAP Hale Bob jumped the last and stopped the clock with 12 seconds to spare. With a class round for Ingrid Klimke and SAP Hale Bob. They go into second behind teammate Jung and fischerChipmunk on 20.9. So Ludwig Svennestal and Elkazir SP now holds that line, left-handed to the triple arrowheads. Nicely done.
No question of a little extra stride for that lovely horse.
Well, here comes Nicolas Touzon, an absolute gold. In fact, the last French winner of the Europeans was in 2007, this man at Bretoni. This is a very big moment for France. Oliver Townend, Cooley Masterclass, coming down to the Longines water. This is an important round for Team GB. Tina Cook, who picked up those 20 penalties with Billy the Reds at this water. Second water, in fact, at the Mesmer water.
I think the horses can see that third element way better than we can, because I haven't seen it for hours.
Ludwig Svennestal and El Kazir SP. No jumping and no time. 31,
Very good.
10th.
Very good.
Oliver Townend down at the Mesmer Water. This is a crucial fence. Cooley Masterclass.
You wonder how any horse could run out of that when you see a horse do it that easily.
Yeah. Don't be saying that to
I wouldn't.
Tina.
I wouldn't.
Well, 10 seconds he was up on the clock and he punches the air in typical Nicolas Touzon style. Certainly up there after the dressage and the cross-country day as Oliver Townend and Cooley Masterclass drop down away from the silver birch brush and corner. Oliver Townend, 4 fences left to jump over the white rails, and now on to the fence stone walls. Up on the clock. He's well up on the clock. He could cruise home now. Oliver Townend says he's done it. Clear round inside the time. So he'll finish on 27.6 and go into 5th place individually.
So after 2 phases completed, Michael Jung kept his lead over reigning champion Ingrid Klimke by 2 penalties, with Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Valette in 3rd. But just 4 penalties separated Valette from the next 6 riders. In the team, Germany looked to have an unassailable lead over Great Britain. But it was too close to call for the silver and bronze, with just 10 penalties between 2nd and 5th ahead of the final phase, the jumping. Welcome back to the final day of the Longines FEI Eventing Championships in Luhmu hlen, Germany. It was a much cooler day as the 54 remaining riders went into the jumping phase of the competition to decide the championship medals. And it was tight at the top of both the team and individual. The big news was that France were down to just 3 riders after the withdrawal of Alexis Goury's horse, Trompe l'Oeil d'Emery. Now with just 3 riders, Sweden and Italy breathing down their necks for that bronze medal. And it all came down to the last line of riders. Team Sweden completed with a clear from Ludwig Svennestal and El Kazir. Up into 4th and a guaranteed ticket to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Italy's Pietro Roman and Baraduf came home with a costly 8 penalties, dropping the team down to 5th, but they would still qualify for that 2nd Olympic spot. We join the action with the top 6 and Ireland's Cathal Daniels. The team were too far down the leaderboard for a medal, but in the individual it was only 1 fence in it. Commentary comes from Spencer Sturmey and eventing legend Lucinda Green.
It is this young man's time to shine. It is Cathal Daniels, 22 years old, riding the 12-year-old mare Rioghan. This by Jack of Diamonds, 12-year-old mare, owned by Frank and Margaret Kinsella, who flew in from Canada late on Friday, or just in time for his dressage, maybe on Thursday, Friday. Great to have the owners here. They bring forward a score of 29.0. That score in for Ireland, and he finished 10 seconds inside the time on the cross-country yesterday. One of the smallest mares in the field at just 15.1.
Fabulous combination, these two. I don't think this mare would go for anybody. She's quite special. She's quite a little chestnut madam, but with so much talent, and somehow between help of various trainers and his own innate ability, Cathal has coaxed this top-class performance out of a far from straightforward little mare.
He is a class rider. Sally Corskellen, the chef to keep, done a fabulous job with the Irish team.
Ooh, this is tricky. Ah, she just bounced into the air over that, using a sort of athletic ability that only those little girls can, little horses, no matter what sex they are, can do. Wonderful. And this hopefully should be fine.
Well, what a round from Cathal and Rioghan. Clear rounds. That is a great score for the Irish. They'll drop the score of Sam Watson and Flamenco. But more importantly, individually, he will finish at least 6th on his dressage score of 29.0. We welcome Oliver Townend, 36 years old, with the 14-year-old Cooley Masterclass, back-to-back winner of the Kentucky 5-Star out in the United States, 14-year-old Irish sport horse by the fabulous Ramiro B, owned by Angela Hislop. Competed at 5 European Championships now. 3 team golds. He's also been to World Equestrian Games. Former Burghley winner.
He's got under the horse's tummy a stud guard, and it's quite surprisingly low at the back, and he does jump a little bit with his tummy near the rail, so I hope the stud, well, that he didn't, he was miles above. I hope the stud guard doesn't tickle the rail, because they're so easy to knock off. He's well above it at the minute, but just earlier on it was getting quite close. That is the difficulty of a light-coloured bottom plank and a dark-coloured top plank. The horses just don't judge it as well. And worse still, the background to that fence is also black. The advertising boards on the fence, that was beautifully resurrected from the previous slight disaster. Backed off that one, it came exactly the same spot, takeoff spot as he had for the planks, but backed himself off it. He could read that board and read beautifully the last fence.
Well, just the one fence down, 4 penalties to add for Oliver Townend and Cooley Masterclass, the former badminton and Burghley winner. So at the moment, Great Britain dropped down into bronze medal position, with France going up into silver. Well, down to the final 3. This is where the medals will be decided. Will Ireland be on the podium with Cathal? Because Queen cannot afford to have one fence down with Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Villette. He starts on 25.8. And Cathal is on 29.0.
Interesting style of jumping here. Looking careful, but also looking reasonably flat in his back. But I think that's the way he does it. And so long as he's got a real conscience about keeping his...
Oh,
he hasn't.
Cathal is on the podium.
Yeah. Just finding it a little bit difficult to keep his legs out of the way. Seriously good horse, this. It's a hard job the 3rd day. You don't have the same horse that you have every other day of the year, because they've done that 4-mile gallop across country. They're in a different position in their body, and their muscles. Oh, and that's the sort of thing that took the fence out that he had out, but he was luckier there. Charming horse, with his own style. Very well ridden.
And clear of the last, 29.8 for Lieutenant Colonel Thibaut Villette and Queen de Brieux. It drops them down 1 place into 4th, and Cathal moves up into bronze medal position. Well, it's getting exciting. It is the last 2 to jump, and it's the current reigning European champion from 2017, Ingrid Klimke, 51 years of age. And she rides the 15-year-old Oldenburg gelding SAP Hale Bob.
What other sport in the world do you have somebody coming in, reigning European champion at the age of 51? It's a wonderful sport. You can go on forever if you're lucky enough to stay in one piece. And Ingrid would have come into the World Games arena this time last year in the lead, in the gold medal position. This time it's the silver, and went clear the whole way to the last fence. And it's going to be horribly in her mind, although you have to dispel all those negative thoughts and only focus on what's happening in front of you with as much positivity as you can. He is a show jumper in his past, a long time ago. He has a good jump, but any horse can make a mistake. He's 15 now, he's done a lot. Huge partner of Ingrid, they're like a pair of old bedroom slippers together. Ooh, that was all right. Now this double. Beautifully done. It's exactly the sort of fence that he can do, because he doesn't lengthen his stride out in the way so many eventers do. Now, she knows the last fence came down at Weg and everything seemed perfect into it. Don't think about it. Think about looking the other side and doing it.
Yeah, she's done it. Ingrid Klimke jumps clear. Piggy French there, clapping along. Ingrid Klimke, the current reigning European champion with SAB Hale Bob, jumps clear. She points to Bobby and says, "Isn't he amazing?" The British team won the gold last year, 2 years ago in Rioghan. They're not going to do it this year. It's going to be the German quartet. Ingrid Klimke finishes on her dressage score of just 22.2. Well, it is. It's getting exciting. We're down to the last to go, and it is Jung. Ingrid Klimke out in front in the gold medal position. Cathal will be guaranteed a medal, that is for sure, individually, with Rioghan 29.0. Christopher 6 for France in third on 29.2. Jung, 37 years old, riding the 11-year-old Hanoverian fischerChipmunk by Contendro. 11 years old, not together championship experience. Jung remains the only person to ever hold the European, World and Olympic titles simultaneously. He's won gold medals at 3 senior Europeans with 3 different horses. Chipmunk made his championship debut at last year's World Equestrian Games with Julia Krajewski. And although he picked up an unfortunate 20 penalties there, certainly one of the hot favourites to win here. Show jumping prediction. Well, it is 2 rails down, their show jumping prediction, although it's important to remember that this combination's numbers are affected by some early partnership teething problems, including a 4-rail round. It's more likely to be 1, but he'll be hoping for a clear here, that is for sure, because he can't afford to have 1 fence down. Oh, he's done it. Ingrid is the reigning
champion.
She's the champion again.
Oh my goodness, this man has given us a masterclass of how to ride across country yesterday on a horse that he's only been with for 6-7 months. Julia's trained him beautifully and Michael is taking on the mantle and will, I think, be a contender for the gold medal next year in Tokyo. It's fantastic.
Well, Ingrid Klimke becomes the back-to-back European champion. Nicolas Touzon there congratulating Julia Krajewski, the former rider of fischerChipmunk. Jung, though, will finish in 2nd place in the silver medal position. Ingrid Klimke becomes the 2019 individual European champion. Jung in silver on fischerChipmunk FRH, 24.9. Cathal for Ireland, Rioghan in bronze, 29.0. And Germany become the European team champions once again. Well, it's been exciting. It certainly has been one of the best championships I think I've witnessed for a very, very long time. And more importantly, we look down the list to see who's qualified for those Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. So Sweden get their tickets, Italy get their tickets. What an exciting Olympics it's going to be as well.
Bobby is the best. He was so wonderful and he jumped so well. I'm really thrilled. I couldn't believe. I still don't believe it's true. So maybe after the prize giving, I know. I always said, Kaim as a European champion, we'll see, who knows what I will be next Monday when we left. So now I still have it for the next 2 years. That's wonderful, really.
For sure, I'm not really happy about this situation, but I'm very happy about the week, about the whole week. It was a great week and it's a fantastic horse and it's a great result anyway.
It's my first individual senior medal, so very excited to get one under the belt. The Rioghan row was unbelievable today, jumped a very good clear round, felt amazing, so credit to everybody who was behind me, and yeah, we pulled it off this week, so I couldn't be happier.
We always knew the Germans would be really hard to beat on home territory, and we thought we'd come here competitive, but have to capitalise on any downfall really from the Germans. But they, all credit where credit's due. Fabulous result for them, but great for us. Gosh, we had to fight right the way to the end.
We kept fighting, and we didn't give up, and I think it's shown that in the end it was a very good result for us, and we're very close to England, and now we just need to keep improving for Tokyo, and we will be there really fighting for the medals.
So an incredible final phase. Sadly it wasn't Mikkel Jung's day, with one fence down costing him gold. On home soil, Germany won the team gold, having dominated all 3 phases of the championships. And Sweden taking the bronze, and along with Italy are now qualified for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Mikkel Jung and fischerChipmunk FRH taking the silver, and Ireland's Cathal Daniels and Rioghan truly worthy of the bronze medal. But Ingrid Klimke and SAP Hale Bob stayed in the hunt to the very end, defending her title. She's now the back-to-back Longines FEI eventing European champion. What a spectacular week of sport here in Luhmu hlen. A thrilling end to the Longines FEI eventing European Championships 2019.